First of all, why is this being reported from Jerusalem? Number two, doesn't this twit actually know that you can contaminate any warhead with uranium?
The UN's nuclear watchdog group has now released a new report on enriched uranium found at a Syrian site. It was that site that was bombed by Israel a year ago. The U.S. has claimed that Syria was in the final stages of completing a nuclear reactor with the help from North Korea. Let's get to Ninan. She's in Jerusalem. Rena, what exactly does this report say?
Jane, it's a bit of a muddled report. There are sort of two different findings. The main one is that traces of uranium were found at that site. That's very significant, the first time that that's actually been mentioned. And they also say that there are characteristics found at that site of a nuclear reactor, but then they add the statement saying you can't rule out that it might have been used for non-nuclear use as well. The Syrians have alleged that, the uranium found at this site likely came from Israeli missiles that were launched on that site. We spoke to a weapons expert today who said when there's an air-to-ground missiles, those type of missiles don't use uranium. In tank shells, you will find traces of uranium. Tank shells weren't used in this operation, so that pretty much discredits that claim, Jane.
Rena, what does this do basically to Syria's foreign policy?
Well, Syria recently, in the past couple of weeks, has seen a thawing within the international community. They were isolated out in the international political wilderness for many years now. The French president has reached out to him. We know this week that David Miliband, the British foreign minister, also went out there and met with him. But this is really a very damning report. The first time that the UN watchdog has been able to come out and say this about that site. So this could be very difficult. We've also learned, Jane, that the Mossad was able to intercept a ship that came from North Korea to Syria. And we can only assume that they were able to place tracking devices on that ship because they allowed that ship to go on, and they said there were nuclear reactor components found on that ship, Jane.
Rena Ninan in Jerusalem for us with that developing news. Rena, thanks.
Well, she's kind of cute, but she's obviously not a weapons expert. All you have to do is put a little bit of uranium in with the warhead, and you can contaminate the site.